What a night, what a game we had. Have you caught your breath now?
Yeah, I have now, to be fair. It was, like I said, had everything, both games, exciting to watch, and just a great example of what the Champions League can bring.
It was interesting seeing Kieran Trippier chatting to some of his mates on the field at the end there. All three of them were sort of shaking their heads. Does it sometimes feel in a game like that, even as a player, you're not really sure what's gone on? There's been so much happening.
There's something, I think, you're so caught up in the game that you forget, you know, the VAR moments, you know, penalties, sendings off, all the goals we had. There was so much drama and not even a handshake at the end of it.
Yeah, what do you think of that? I mean, that's just, it's uncool, isn't it? Regardless of what's gone on.
You know what, I've got to respect him so much as a manager, Simeone, but I just think during the game, you know, winding the crowd up, winding the players up, I understand it, but then not shaking hands at the end, I just think he lets himself down. Yeah,
I'm the same. I think it's petty. I think he handled himself well yesterday in regards to the remarks Jurgen Klopp made before the game. He didn't seem fazed by it, but then to not shake his hand and then to run off up the tunnel is a bit cowardly, in my opinion.
Listen, we're not making excuses for him because it isn't a good move at any time, but he is going to be an absolute ball of frustration right now. So many things annoyed him this evening. One of the big ones will be when you're trying to take a player off and for 6 minutes your substitute is standing on the side of the pitch. You don't get a chance to take the player off and then that player does something as daft as this to concede a penalty.
Yeah, like you say, 6 minutes, he was losing the plot about getting them on. He was asking his players to kick the ball off. And then Hermoso goes and has a rush of blood and, you know, takes Jota out. And it was a ridiculous decision to earn himself a penalty. And it was a sort of get-out-of-jail-free card, really, just to complete... The ball lands to Trent Alexander-Arnold. It's an up and under. Hopeful ball, really. And you get it... I mean, they were doing it all evening, really, outside the box.
Look at this angle there.
But to do this inside the box, it's, you know, you look straight at Jota,
but
bundles him over.
But in the era of VAR, it's even more ridiculous. You're never going to get away with that.
No, then to contest it is crazy. Again, great penalty from Salah, but yeah, the decision to make that challenge was stupid. And he may have thought he was outside the box, so he was trying to stop play to get himself off. But in regards to the outcome, Mo Salah, the coolest man.
And just touching on the penalty, that's a big moment in a high-pressure game. I think sometimes we just expect Salah to finish them, but I think we have to understand the pressure of that moment. For him to slot it home so cool, he just knew it was going to happen.
He's got form taking penalties at that end of that stadium as well, don't forget. Just a quick line on Liverpool generally. That's now 21 games unbeaten for them. That now matches a record going back to 1989, and this is the team on the most incredible form now.
Yeah, they found their rhythm back this year, whether it's player, personnel back in the team, but they all seem to be in sync. Again, the performance tonight wasn't as what we've seen in recent weeks of Liverpool, but the result was key.
Yeah, for all these good results, I think you're right to say that this evening they will breathe a bit of a sigh of relief. I mean, not least the fact that it could very easily have been 3-3 if the referee had gone to the monitor at the side of the pitch and come to a different decision. Yeah,
I think the right decision was made. I could see why it could have been a penalty, and I see why he blew the whistle at the start, but when he's reviewed it, I think Jimenez has made a meal of it. I think if he goes down with a bit more natural ease, I think he gives the pen.
There's no doubt he's definitely dived, but I thought it was slightly clumsy, and I thought when he's given the penalty, I thought then he's not going to overturn it. But had it been the other way round, you know, if he hadn't given the penalty, then I think he sticks with his decision. I think in the Premier League, that's what we would have seen. But for him to overturn it, fair play to him in that stadium, you know, under that kind of pressure, he made the decision, stuck to it.
And there is an element, I think, that as soon as the VAR officials ask him to go and have a look at it, they're kind of basically saying something's not quite right here, which impacts, I think, the decision he makes, even though we all think that perhaps he got the right one.
Yeah, I think we agree with that process in the Premier League, but in Europe we've seen it's kind of taken into the referee's hands. I think they're made clear that there may be a mistake, go and review it and come to your own conclusion. I don't think that's the case in the Premier League. I think it's kind of, you've made a mistake, let's change that decision.
You've got to be careful, though. I mean, Peter Walton was watching it and he said, you know, there is the slightest bit of contact, but contact's
that's
contact.
the thing, there's no doubt that he makes the most of the push. He's gone over easy, but you know he's going to do that. But there is slight contact, so it could quite easily have been a penalty, that.
But in many ways, this is what the pitch sub monitor is there for. It allows the referee to see something that he can't see in real time.
Yeah, and I think he's just seen that Jimenez has gone down, not naturally, so I think that's kind of tweaked it in Liverpool's favour. I think, as I said, if he just falls and collapses rather than spins and goes down with a bit more, less theatrical, I think he sticks with his decision and gives the penalty.
I think it looks even more clumsy because he's fell over him at the end there. And I just thought that, I mean, it could have gone either way. I think for him to overturn it was a big call from the referee. Fair play to him.
Particularly when you've got Diego Simeone about 10 yards away, staring at you. Tens of thousands of people in the stadium saying, don't do it. So, fair play, Daniel Siebert. That's
strong decision from the referee, as I said, and I think it was the right one.